How long do you think it's going to take, man?
It's just gonna take like 10 minutes.
We got to hurry, though, because this hurricane's going to hit. I have to go buy toilet paper. Look, I still haven't decided what shirt I'm going to wear today.
Oh my god, dude.
Come on. We just need to hurry, that's all. Oh, great! Welcome back to Buffalo Bills pregame week 9 as the Buffalo Bills prepare to take on the Houston Texans. Woo! Buffalo's really excited about this one as we batten down the hatches and prepare for the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy.
Yay, power's out.
Top story this week, Mario Williams making his return to Houston. Which team will this have more of an impact on, the Texans or the Bills, as he returns to the team that drafted him?
I like to be honest with you. I know he had that procedure done. He's supposed to be good for the game, but they're not going into what the procedure is. So I just think he's going to go in there and still not be good regardless. I mean, will he want to show his home crowd? Yeah, but I just don't think he's going to. He hasn't proved it yet.
Do you suspect this is an injury that he had coming into the season?
You know, I would love to ask him if he kept the thing quiet during his entire free agent thing.
And he's turned down every request for interviews the Buffalo Bills pregame has sent him.
That's true. We haven't got a response yet. We figured that the Williams connection would have worked. But yeah, I mean, I would love to know what's going on with that. But my guess is he probably would have covered it up, wouldn't you? I mean, seriously, if you were out there and you could have gotten $100 million and you knew it, would you tell teams, oh, by the way, I have this nagging wrist injury that might make me suck for the next 6 years?
I think the football teams overlook a lot of things in general. Like a lot of times in the area of character issues more than like physical injuries.
Right.
But I think when you have someone with the talent of Mario Williams, I don't think a nagging wrist injury is going to be something that's going to stop you from signing him.
Yes. So you're saying we would have signed him regardless?
I think so. So as the Bills offense, which hasn't performed terribly, they haven't been the worst unit on the field, let's put it that way, as they go forward against what has proven to be a pretty good Texans defense this season, minus the Packers game. What formula for the Bills is going to work out better? Fitzpatrick throwing the ball less than 30 times, or Spiller getting his hand on the ball more than 25 times?
Well, yeah, both formulas have been thrown around, but the one consistent one, with the exception of the Cleveland game, is that if Fitzpatrick throws the ball less than 30 times, we win the game. Now, I understand, I'm not dumb, I understand that the reason for that statistic more or less is because if we're running the ball more because we're up by a lot of points, we're not throwing the ball as much. I get that. But at the same time, I think there's something also to that. I think it shows the strength of our run, the strength of the fact that we have a decent line. So, yeah, I mean, I think Fitzpatrick needs to throw the ball less. And, I mean, and truthfully, he's throwing it. A lot of the last throws he had in the last game were pointless throws, like the interception. We should have been running it at that point, not to go back to the Titans game. But
do you think that C.J. Spiller has the physical longevity or durability to start taking over as the starting running back for the Bills against Fred Jackson, or as opposed to Fred Jackson?
I think that you start the better running back, and who's playing better right now, Fred Jackson or C.J. Spiller. And you got to go with Spiller. I mean, I like Fred Jackson. I'm not even really a huge C.J. Spiller fan, personally, but, I mean, you got to look at who's doing better. So, if C.J.'s doing better, give him the ball, let him do his work. I'm not saying don't play Fred Jackson, but I'm saying you play who's performing. Play who performs, regardless of who it is. If it's Johnny White, play Johnny White. I don't care.
The Texans do have some impact players on their defense. J.J. Watt has been performing remarkably well on their defensive line, swatting balls down out of the air, NFL record-breaking numbers, leading the league in sacks. When it comes to the passing game, there's not much that he doesn't stop right at the line. So Fitzpatrick, the less he is put at risk with J.J. Watt making a big play, the better. Brady James playing very well in as a linebacker for the Texans. And the Bills have not had defensive players that have stepped up in the same way at all. We are currently the worst defense in the league. We can't stop anyone running. Our pass defense is getting torn apart. Is our 4-man rush is not getting to the quarterback, and our 7-man defending isn't stopping a ball. I personally would like to see more blitzes. If we're going to get carved up in the passing game, let's at least get a chance at the quarterback. Do you think this is a week in which Wannstedt changes up his strategy?
No, I don't at all, because we should be able to get it done with the 4 guys we have. That's the problem. We have all 4 guys. I mean, granted, I'm taking the Mark Anderson thing out of the equation right now, but Mario should be good on his own. Marcel Darius, 3rd overall pick in the draft. He was supposed to be a game changer. Kyle Williams has proved it in the past. He's been in the Pro Bowl. And now you got all 3 of them on the line. We should be destroying offensive lines, so we shouldn't need to be doing blitzing in the linebacking scheme.
But we've seen 7 games. Well, I think the biggest problem we're going to have this week is Arian Foster, who has more yards than Spiller and Jackson combined. Matt Schaub is only thrown for 10 TDs. Andre Johnson only catching 2 of them.
Right.
Owen Daniels has actually been his best target, their tight end in the red zone with 4 touchdowns himself. We can't defend the pass. We're worse against the run. Will the defense be able to come up with anything against Arian Foster-led offense?
No. No, I mean, here's the problem. That run statistic, worst running defense in the league, we're pretty good for the first 5 yards. But again, if they get back into the linebacker zone, that's where we get screwed over. It's all those long runs that we've seen, that we saw from Stephen Ridley or Chris Johnson. You know, when they get in the backfield and they run for their, nearly 200 yards to the game, that's where the run defense looks bad. Like, there's only been a few bad games with the run. The other games have been decent. It's just those really bad ones. But it's Arian Foster. He's the best running back in the league. So what do you think's going to happen? He's going to get past the line. He's going to go all over us. And you mentioned Schaub and you mentioned Andre Johnson. I mean, they know how bad the pass defense is, so they're probably going to want to get Andre Johnson some touchdowns while we're at it. It's the stats up,
So it's a good week in fantasy to play anyone the Bills are playing. To
play the Texans?
Yeah, to play the Texans. Yeah, and a good strategy going forward just to play whoever the Bills' defense is going against.
Let's not go there.
Topic of discussion. We got 2 this week. Very excited. What players do you think, Jared, should the Bills draft first? From what position? Quarterback or wide receiver?
It really depends on where the Bills end up in the draft. The late round quarterbacks just don't really impress me that much. Like your Brandon Whedons or your J.P. Losmans. I'm just naming a couple quarterbacks that were drafted, the 4th quarterback in the first round. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like, oh, well, there's that guy. Let's chance him in the first round, or your Tim Tebow's, stuff like that. I don't want to chance that. If we're gonna go for quarterback, it needs to be like top 5 in the draft. So I think based on where I think the Bills are going to end up this season, I think it'll probably be receiver.
Anyone who knows the show and has seen my analysis knows that I think a quarterback is the most important position on the field. And what we have right now is so bad that Ryan Fitzpatrick, as a unit, Ryan Fitzpatrick hasn't even stirred up a quarterback controversy with his bad play because we know what's behind him is even worse. So I think anyone can improve that position at this point. And the way the rookie contracts are set up right now is it's so advantageous to try to get a quarterback as early as possible. Second topic of discussion, what team do you think is the main competition in the Bills' race for the postseason this year?
Well, I can already have an idea what your response is going to be, but even though the Jets are 3-5, I can't count them out. I think they're the Jets. They can rebound. The Bengals, I think, are still going to be up there. And, oh boy, I hate saying this, but I think the Dolphins are going to actually challenge us too. That
was going to be the team I was going to say, the Dolphins. I mean, they're dark horses coming into the season, but they just beat up on the Jets this past week. And if you're going to say the Jets are going to be competition, it looks like the Dolphins might be better than them. There's a lot of mistakes that we're making that are hurting ourselves. So I think our biggest opponent at this point for getting into the playoffs is ourselves. We need to stop hurting ourselves so we can go forward. But the keys to the game. What is your key to the Bills having success against the Texans?
There's like a whole keychain of keys, but since I'm only going to do one, I'm going to say stop the run. I mean, Arian Foster really I know it's the Bills, but Arian Foster really is that team. I mean, you look, Schaub and Andre Johnson, they just haven't done what they normally do. It's really been the run game that's been getting them through. So I would have to say that if we stop their run, we might be able to limit their offense to a certain degree with some bird interceptions where we might actually be able to stop the Texans.
So optimistic. We all know that the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills is terrible. So the defense is going to be on the field a lot. So I think we need to pressure the quarterback Schaub one way or the other, whether it's changing up the system like I was suggesting with more blitzes, or those four guys finally figuring it out up front and getting some pressure on the quarterback. But I think we need a solid pass rush to win the game. And who do you pick to win then, Jeremy?
I picked the Texans to win 49-10.
49-10. I have a little bit closer competition with the Bills scoring some points in garbage time. I have it 45-31 Houston.
And before you say who's next week, I apologize to everyone. I don't mean to be so negative, but seriously, if you think we have a shot at this, tell me what it is, because I want to know. I don't know about you. But
I don't know anyone who's picking the Bills this week.
I want to, but
Western New York, be safe as we deal with the fallout of Hurricane Sandy.
yeah, I hope the power comes back on.
It'll be on soon.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Who are we playing?
Oh, Patriots. I don't know, Jared. It was a decent show this week. It ran a little long, but I didn't